This workbench is modular, so with trivial changes you can have a single bay or any size you want. Each bay is a cabinet box, made the same size, so you can have drawers, or you can do what I did here. I added a shop vac, hidden just in a cabinet with a door, with a button on the outside for it. There's also space underneath the top above the cabinets to put tracks or other long items. To build the bench, I'm using 4x4s and 2x4s. The 4x4s are being used for vertical posts, that's the corners and middle pieces of each bay. A single bay would require 4 posts, but because I'm making a dual bay, I'm cutting 6 posts at 30 inches. Next, I mark out locations for the side mortises. These are going front to back. They're going to be 1/2 inch mortises, and they'll be marked out 4 to 6.5 inches from each end. Now there's a lot of ways to cut out the mortises. A router works well, or a drill and chisel. I'm going to try out a mortising machine, which is basically a drill press and chisel combined in one. So if it's something in your budget and you're making a lot of mortises, this type of machine can really speed up the process a lot. Next, I marked out the front and back mortises. These are marked off 1/2 inch to 3 inches from each end, and these are going side to side on the frame. Now I know that might sound confusing, but it will make a lot more sense once you see the frame and how it fits together. After mortising, there should be 4 corner posts, as you see. There's a set of each type, and the middle post there's going to be 3. 2 of them are the front and back ones closer to the ends. Moving on to the stretchers, I'm using 2x4s, and the stretchers connect all of the posts. Starting with the sides, I have to cut 6 pieces at 17 inches. Next, I cut 8 pieces at 24 inches, and these are for the front and back stretchers. Now on all of the stretchers, I cut a 1-inch tenon 1/2 inch thick, and I'm using a dado stack because that was the easiest method I had, but there's a lot of different ways you can cut a tenon. For assembly, to make it easier, I'm breaking everything into segments. What I got here is 2 posts, and I'm using the 17-inch stretchers to connect these. All of these are going to be glued in place, and I'm using the mortises that are closer to the center for these stretchers. So these are what run front to back on the frame. Next, I use the 24-inch stretchers to assemble all of the segments together. So as you can see here, the 24-inch stretchers fit in those mortises closer to the ends, and those are what face you in the front or behind in the back. I'm adding casters to the bottom of mine, which is why I picked the 4x4 posts. 2x4s probably would be strong enough for this, but the posts give way more space for casters. Moving on to the top. You can make the top out of whatever you want. I'm making mine out of 2x4s, cutting 8 pieces at 5 feet, and basically I'm gluing these together kind of like a butcher block style. To attach the top, this is solid wood, so I have to leave room for expansion and contraction. So what I'm doing is adding 3/4 inch dowels just on the back in each one of the corner posts. With the top attached, you could basically leave it as is if you wanted, but I'm going to be adding cabinet boxes to mine. I'm adding a cabinet box in each bay. So I have to cut out 2 bottoms at 20 3/4 by 21. Next I have to cut out 4 sides, 20 3/4 by 22 3/4. And lastly, I need 8 braces cut at 4 by 20. On each one of the sides, I'm adding a 3/4 inch rabbet on the bottom of each side. And I'm using pocket screws for all of the braces. To assemble the cabinet boxes, I'm gluing the sides to the bottom using the rabbet. Basically, the side will sit on top of and then wrapping around the bottom piece. Now all of the braces, I add 2 on the top and then 2 on the back, and all I'm doing, like I said before, is using pocket screws to connect these to the sides. To install the cabinets, it's really easy. Basically, these should, if they're sized correctly, slide right in place, and they'll just sit right on top of the braces on the bottom. Now to actually attach it, I'm just screwing the cabinet box to those braces, and that was strong enough for me. The really great thing about this design is how easy it is to customize the cabinet boxes. On mine, on the left side, I'm installing drawers. I'm not going to show how I made these drawers because I actually already have a video on that, and I'll put a link in the description. But also on the right side, I put shop vac storage, and if I ever change my mind, I can easily swap these out or modify them later down the road without building a brand new workbench. To finish off my build, I'm adding my bandsaw, drill press, and mortising machine, so that way I can share a shop vac between the 3 of them.